Hello, and welcome to Archives and Records Simplified. These videos are aimed at people looking for basic knowledge about archives and records management, although at times I will also touch slightly on information and library science. These videos are designed to provide bite-sized chunks, which means that almost every video will be less than 15 minutes. These videos are honestly for everyone, and comments and suggestions are always more than welcome. About me, Sean McMillan, I'm an archivist based in London, and you can learn more about me via my LinkedIn profile, to which there is a link posted below. And I'll also post a transcript and notes also if you struggle at any point to understand my accent. And lastly, if you enjoy these videos, I would be extremely grateful if you could kindly like, subscribe and share. Thanks again. Okay, so this video is a review of Naomi Korn, who is a company which is experts in copyright. Okay, so Naomi Korn specializes in copyright, all things copyright, data protection and licensing. They help their clients comply with the law and enable them to commercially exploit their assets through better rights and privacy management. They have a fantastic team of experts and people with really, really outstanding knowledge of copyright legislation. Korn offers a first-class consultancy service, training people who need it, offering a tailor-made rights clearance service, and also just a general bespoke regular service depending on needs. But it's also worth noting that their website is also just generally such a fantastic source of information. Some of you might wonder exactly why I'm covering a copyright consultant here on a video for archivists and information professionals. But what I really need to stress is that copyright is a major consideration when it comes to how we use and also maybe more significantly promote our materials. The copyright status of a collection could dictate whether we accept it at all, and it could also limit how we promote and use the collection. It's especially important to be clear on copyright when digitizing a collection and potentially making it available online. Lastly, I was fortunate enough to receive training from Korn a few years ago in Oxford, which was very well prepared and was in person, which now seems like 1,000 years ago in the current time of COVID. But the training session I received at Oxford was really fantastic and it left a really good impression. Okay, so working with cultural heritage and libraries. So Korn has provided the services to a number of organisations, including charities, public bodies and artistic creators. Given the nature of this channel, I'm naturally more interested on how their work might be relevant to cultural heritage institutions and libraries, which I'm going to detail a bit more here. So, for example, and again, I base this on their website, which I should have said should be the first port of call for more information. One of their clients was the British Library. Naomi Korn Associates were commissioned by the British Library to evaluate the many ways in which the British Library interacted with intellectual property rights across its current activities, processes, relationships and future aspirations. The work undertaken by Korn helped the British Library develop a set of standardised principles to support staff and develop more consistency across the organisation and its management of rights to demonstrate its obligations as a public body, and it ultimately allowed it to move forward and embrace the opportunities presented by the digital environment. So that actually is a really vital point. Specifically for large institutions, the digital age is phenomenal. It offers us so many opportunities, but with greater opportunity, it seems that the risk is proportionately greater as well. And organisations such as Naomi Korn are fantastic at helping to mitigate that risk. Another piece of work they did was with the illustrious historic royal palaces. So as you can imagine, they have some phenomenal collections. HRP, so the Historic Royal Palaces, is the custodian of 6 palaces and a fantastic collection of archives, and as well as they're a generator of digital assets with complex copyright and other rights issues. The palaces procured a bespoke digital asset management system, so that's a DAMS, to manage their digital assets and the associated rights issues sorry, so that they would be able to benefit from the reuse of their digital assets in the future, knowing exactly what rights and permissions they had. And Naomi Korn Associates were hired to essentially provide copyright expertise and help them develop rights and permission fields and various associated tools to address these challenges. This was supported by extensive, fantastic training provided by Naomi Korn to raise staff awareness about copyright and also to encourage staff to use the new DAMS and supporting tools. The work essentially enabled the Palace's staff to develop competencies in rights management, upload new digital assets and their accompanying rights and permissions information onto their new system, and ultimately enabled the Palaces to fully benefit from its investment in the creation of its digital assets. So, there's probably a financial incentive in it as well, and the information is very much a resource now, like any other, and these sort of legal issues can create uncertainty. They can maybe prevent you from getting the most out of your resources. Their client list includes so many more organisations. I think there's more than 50 cultural heritage libraries. They're noted as helping, and this includes organisations such as the Ministry of Defence. So they have a real wealth of information, a real wealth of experience, and they've certainly been very involved with really high-profile cultural heritage and library institutions. Okay, so this is the part of the video that I was looking forward to the most. Their website is also just such a fantastic treasure trove of information and resources, many of which are free. I can't say all of which because I haven't accessed each one individually, but from what I've seen, a lot of the information and resources they offer are very much free of charge and are done purely out of just goodwill. I have to say that the list I'm giving you here honestly does not do them justice. And at the end of the video, I'll give you a link to their website, which is where I've got my information from, and which I really recommend looking at in the first instance. And just more generally, their website is the best place to find more information about them. That said, a few resources of interest. So the Online Privacy and Security Guide, which was created in 2020, this offers advice and resources for heritage organisations to help keep information secure and safeguard people's privacy when working remotely and from home. They also offer a guide to copyright and working with suppliers to create digital content 2020. So this offers best practice steps and guidance to help heritage organisations manage copyright effectively when working with suppliers. I understand that this guide was produced as part of the Heritage Digital Project, funded kindly by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. They also have a free webinar, Copyright and Suppliers, How to Get the Rights You Need in New Digital Content from 2020. This was to accompany the guide produced for the Heritage Digital. Naomi Korn led a free webinar where Naomi Korn, is also a person. She's I believe, the owner of the company. So Naomi Korn personally led a webinar where she outlined practical tools and frameworks to help heritage organisations begin their copyright journey. You can watch a recording of the webinar via their website. I should say that Naomi Korn was the one that did our training session at Oxford, and she was really fantastic. So I thoroughly recommend anything that she's in. A Basic Introduction to Copyright 2020. This is a free 1-hour webinar introducing the basics of copyright, again led by Naomi Korn in partnership with DP Tripathi, the Assistant Librarian at Bijou Patanik Central Library, BPCL. I dare say I've probably mispronounced that, so I'd definitely check the website. They also have guidelines for reusing images from wiki sites in 2020, and this is a detailed overview adapted from a blog post by Julia Ruxton, consultant and rights researchers. And also they have a copyright agreement template from 2018. This is a copyright clearance tool for seeking permissions and or assignment of copyright. And I have to say there's much more information on our website. I have to say that sometimes when I create these videos, in many respects, it's also an opportunity for me to learn about something. It sort of gives me the motivation to look into a topic. And I really enjoyed making this one because I actually didn't realise just how much information and how much resources they made available. It's actually turned out to be an absolute gem of a resource. One thing I would say, just a few things that caught my eye, is a lot of what they've produced is quite recent. So you might notice that a lot of this comes from 2020. They did produce a lot of stuff before then, but a lot of the information they provide is very much up to date, and I can't stress how important that is. And then another thing is it did also catch my eye that a lot of what they provide relates to digital content. So I personally have a big interest in digital preservation, and the legal aspects of digital are something I don't think we quite fully understand. That's very much a topic in its own, and I think if you're someone that's really interested in digital asset management or digital preservation, they definitely have a lot of really useful resources from that angle. So I would recommend their website for multiple reasons. Okay, and also they have a book. So information law, compliance for librarians, information professionals, and knowledge managers, so that very much applies to archivists, provides an overview of important information, law issues, along with tools and guidance to help readers establish a framework so that their organisation can comply with its legal responsibilities and support a suitably risk-aware environment which optimises access and use. Based on the author's many, many years in professional practice and on their proven compliance methodology, it will help readers understand the legal issues that are central to the information they hold or what they wish to access. And I would say, again, more generally, if you're working in an organisation that's maybe in the early stages of developing a records management system or an archive or a digital asset system, I think the earlier you clarify these issues, the far better. I think it could be a lot harder to do a lot of this work or to double check you're compliant in retrospect. I really think it's better to be proactive with these sort of issues than it is to be retroactive. Okay, and lastly, some further details. So as mentioned, the first port of call should honestly be their website from which this video is based. I would say that I'm recording this video in the very early days of 2021. So if you're watching it later, if you're watching this, in the next few months or even next year, I would say that, at the rate they're going, I would say they've probably done a lot more since this video has been published. You can also access their contact details there also, but I've added the email address nonetheless. Korn also has a presence on LinkedIn, Twitter, and a mailing list which can also be subscribed to. And lastly, they also have a very good news part of their website, so you can look at recent news from what's been going on at the company and maybe just generally what's also going on at the sector. Otherwise, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. This has actually been one of my favourite ones. As I say, I was actually mildly surprised at how much this organisation have done, and I really enjoyed making it. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions below. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. And if you enjoy these videos, I would be extremely grateful if you could like, subscribe and share. And also just to remind you that I would be absolutely delighted to take any requests for future videos also.